On 22nd March 2016, what happened in University of Hyderabad is actually the comeback of VC while the cases were prevailing on him and he was not at all arrested. He came back to the post of VC. Appa Rao has come back to the post of VC and he actually conducted an executive committee meeting inside the VC's lodge along with the established supporters of a right wing in the university, with the faculty who were actually supporting BJP or RSS, and then other students of the right wing. These people were called for an executive committee meeting inside the VC's lodge, and this agitated the students actually. The protesters were around the VC's lodge from morning 9:30. And they were actually peacefully protesting for the removal of Appa Rao. And at around 4:30, the police started lathi charge. Police started removing people from the VC's lodge. And after actually everybody was removed, the police were assembled near to the humanities department, all equipped to beat the students. And from there, after assembling at the humanities department, they started beating the police. They started beating the students, and they actually ran behind the students till like for 1 kilometer at least. Behind the students, running behind the students, beating them. I was actually having tea in SSB canteen that I saw students running here. And then I went towards the humanities department, and there were all the policemen. And they actually snatched away one girl student's mobile phone while she was trying to videograph the event. And then when they started beating one of my friend, me along with the other friend, we were trying to block the policeman. We were trying to actually protect this guy. And I was actually taken by the police. By around 4 policemen, they actually dragged me near to a van, and they took me inside a van which was parked near. From then there was actually two students. They were actually crying out of pain inside the van. And then by one, people start coming in. And then 2 of our professors were also taken to the van. We were actually beaten up like hell. We were continuously beaten up. And we were taken outside. On the way also, in front of the cops, when one student who actually came to have food in the cops, while he was trying to videograph this event, the police stopped the van and took him also inside, and they started beating him also. Then I noticed that not one of them were wearing their name tags. They have removed their name tags and they were beating us. And they started asking names. Like people with Muslim names were beaten up more. They were like beaten up very badly. They were called jihadis, terrorists and all stuff. And the Hindus and Brahmins were asked, why are you doing this to this country? Why are you doing this to the country and all. Brahmins were specifically asked. We were beaten up more and more. And we were even given lectures about nationalism and like what India is, why we should support India, why should we always praising the soldiers and not any other communities of this country. We were given water after some time. They gave us water, cold water. And when they saw that we are finished, they were beating us up again. We were taken to Miapur police station first, after around 40 minutes or 1 hour. We were taken to Miapur police station. There also same kind of beatings was going on. And then we were taken to a room. That was where I realized that torture rooms of this era is actually administrative offices. We had computers and all the stuff, and on the top there were pulleys. Under the computer table there was like big sticks, chains and all the stuff. I'm not being metaphorical. There were every sort of things that can actually physically destroy a person. We were beaten up there, and they were asking our personal details. I was actually okay with asking about my parents, my home, my address, and then my friend's address. Then what kind of friends I have, what kind of things I do back home, what are my favorites, what are my interests, my type of movies, my type of colors, my type of food. Everything was asked. And then we were not at all given our mobile phones to contact anybody. We were not allowed to talk with anybody, like not at all with any constables or anyone. Then we were taken to some other room. People were asking our details again and again. The same things were asked again and again. And then one of my friends, Mohammed Shan, his bag was taken, and there he found this book, Secularizing Islams. They threw this book away. That they were like beating up Shan, like they were continuously beating up Shan for having this book, Secularizing Islams. And they took that bag away. We didn't know what's going to happen. We didn't see any of the, like, we didn't see the SI or CI or anyone there. All of the people beating us like same. I didn't know. I couldn't find any ranking distinction within them. And at night the SI came, was wearing a headphones and all. Okay, so we can't ask him questions. He will come and speak something. We are not allowed to ask any questions. So he told us something. He said the big bosses will tell what to do with you. He told this, that big bosses will tell what to do with you. We don't know who the big bosses are, and even I don't think he would even know. And we were asked to sleep there. We didn't have food, so then after some time they gave us food. We were allowed to sleep there. Like they gave a mat in somewhere, and we were asked to sleep there. And they brought 4 big lights, okay, and they were like 4 corners of us sleeping. They put the lights on so that they could see and that we won't sleep in dark. They kept all these lights there, and we were asked to sleep there. We were actually afraid to sleep, okay. We have actually heard about this custody suicides and custody murders, okay. So we were not in the mood to sleep. In the morning again they gave us food. We were asked to sit somewhere. We don't know what's going on. We couldn't call anybody then. After some time our professors came. We saw our professors coming to the office, and we were suddenly taken to some other room. And again our details were taken. Our details were asked. We were supposed to do something, and every now and then they would come and beat us. That's actually the common thing, okay, all over this narration. So after that, when they took us back, the professors were not there, and we were taken somewhere else, like in a big lorry with police with guns and lathis and all. They came. They took us to some other room. They were making us in a line. They took us to some other place. We traveled. They told us we are going to be taken to Gachibowli police station, and that they told us that that's our daddy police station. That's our dad. So, but we were not taken there. We were taken to Balanagar police station. That's somewhere outerwards to the city again. So we were taken there again. Details, torture. They gave lectures about how we should know about our forefathers, why we should be known, we should be aware of the city, like we should be aware of the country's like core, what is the soul of the country, and all this stuff. And what they told is actually the Hindutva version of India. Again to like about 4 or 5 hours there. After that we were again taken. All this while we were sleeping, okay. We were tired, and after having food we were sleeping. They were like some of the policemen, they would simply call us back. They will take photos of us, turn to this side, have this pose, look this pose, and that kind of torture was going on. After that they took us again in the van. We don't know what's going on. We didn't believe anything. Like we couldn't believe what they were telling. And we were taken to one hospital in Kondapur, government area hospital Kondapur. So there we were supposed to have our medical checkup, and everybody was having their medical checkup. Our professor was very much bad, like he was in a very ill condition, a very ill health condition. They provided drip and all for him. And then When I was firstly called to the doctor, he asked me like, is it paining somewhere? So I told everywhere it's paining. So he said, then it's okay, go. You are fit to be produced in front of the court. And then they took us somewhere and we were asked to sit in the lorry for a long time. We didn't know what's going on. They were actually going out, they were sitting there and dinner was not provided. Okay, so they gave us mixture in our hands. And we were very much thirsty. So for 18 people, they would give 1 liter bottle. And we were not enough with that much of water. It was so hot and all. And then we were taken to the magistrate. After a long time, after 2 or 3 hours keeping us there, they took us to the magistrate's home actually. And in front of the magistrate, I was not at all produced. Like around 10 of us was not produced. First few when they were produced, they showed their marks on their body, the bruises, the wounds on their body. And when first two showed, the other two was not actually like, whenever, just as they come in front of the magistrate, police would just pull them back outside. So that was actually what, that's how you show yourself in front of the magistrate. And after 2 of it, we were not allowed and we were told that we won't be produced in front of the court and we will be taken to the jail. So that at that time we were actually quite fine. That now we know that we will be taken to the jail. So, and after that, they told us they will provide us with dinner and they'll give us phones to call our parents and all. Like by this time, nobody around outside was not knowing. Nobody outside was knowing that where we are or what we are doing, what happened to us. One policeman actually came and showed his gun to me and told me that he's going to encounter you and nobody will tell anything. He was actually fine. He was smiling and was just telling, I'll just encounter you quite normally. And then we were taken to Challapalli Central Jail. We were taken inside. We were not given our phones. We couldn't contact anybody. We didn't have a food or anything. Whatever they told us was lies, just lies at all. Taken to the high security zone inside Challapalli Central Jail. High security zone. And in a hall, all of us. By that time, the 9 people who were taken in another ambulance from the university was also along with us. We met each other in the hospital. So they were also with us then. And they were telling that in one police station, one old policeman actually gave one of them his phone to call outside and tell. And just when they messaged the other students that they are at Narsinga police station and gave his phone back, some other policemen saw this and all of them togetherly beat up this constable. And these people were taken back in 5 minutes. These people were taken to another police station just in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, they just took all of them away and took to another police station. So in Challapalli Central Jail, we were given some dress. By that time, our dresses were all torn off and all. We couldn't meet a doctor or anyone, and we were asked to sleep there. No policeman would reply us for whatever we talked. And next day morning, just through the windows, we could see that everybody else could go outside to the veranda and all. Maybe because we were in high security zone that we were not at all allowed to go outside. We were not at all allowed to talk with other jail mates. Other people who were just living just outside, just in front of our hall, we were not allowed to talk with them. But then we would somehow manage to talk with them, and I saw under trials for 13 years, 4 years, 6 years under trials living there. Most of them were Muslims for cases like trying to smuggle an iPhone 6 to Pakistan, smuggle 30,000 rupees to Pakistan, all the stuff. And to clean our rooms, some kids would come and they were arrested for pickpocketing, and they are used to clean other prisoners' rooms, maybe political prisoners' rooms. These kids are used to clean the other rooms. And we were supposed to live there for 5 days actually. till the next Tuesday we were there. We couldn't call anybody. Then politicians started coming for mulaqat. They would talk with us, they would support us, they would give solidarity for us, some would do food and all. But we were not given any kind of information from outside. From other prisoners we managed to get newspapers, and through that only we could manage to know what's happening outside, and the mulaqats of course. And on Monday we were given bail, and after 30 hours I think, the next day, Monday evening we were given bail. We were taken outside, we were allowed to go outside on Tuesday night around after 8:30 of course. And after, when we come back, there is victory rallies for us, and the protest is still going on. VC is still in charge. And then it's like the registrar come to us. Registrar, we got to know that registrar is the second witness for the event. The cases charged against us were vandalization of VC's lodge, and then PDPP, that's like prevention of one government officer from doing his job, and trying to, like, it's kind of attempt to murder I think, like pelting stones at the police.
So on Tuesday 22nd of March 2016, in the morning there is this news that we came to know that Appa Rao, who was posted as VC before but legally cannot be considered VC right now, had come back illegally to campus and had taken or is going to take charge of the university. And obviously this is the thing that will anger anybody who had been part of the protests, protests after the institutional murder of Rohit Vemula, or if anybody is roughly aware of the sequence of events that followed from the initial suspension of 5 Dalit research scholars, and after that the complete absence of any statement from the VC, and one after the other atrocious acts were committed against these 5 students particularly, and also new kinds of regulations that he tried to bring in campus about a lot of things, like about ministerial involvement in university affairs and to bring in police inside the campus, and a complete lack of transparency in administration. So people were completely angry on this person, and with that you have this case of an SC/ST prevention of atrocities case against him, by which he should be technically under arrest but had not been arrested even after 2.5 months of filing FIR. So this person comes back to campus and takes refuge in this Vice Chancellor's bungalow. The Vice Chancellor's bungalow is another symbol of corruption. A lot of money laundering had happened regarding the construction of the bungalow, and this person who should technically be under arrest, staying inside a bungalow which is by itself a symbol of corruption. And then a lot of students from the morning gather in front of the VC's bungalow. I was not there in the beginning. I went there in the evening, towards the afternoon, when I came to know that a lot of people are being beaten up by police, and being part of the various incidents in campus, I know that when people in Hyderabad University tell that they are being beaten up by police, it doesn't mean just being shoved by police or being obstructed from a place. Beating here means serious beating by police batons, and you can always anticipate something more that is coming, because during after Rohit Vemula's death, police burst inside the hostel and brutally beat students and broke a lot of hostel equipments inside. So obviously I, like any other person in the university, got concerned about the incident of exactly what is happening. So I went towards the VC bungalow, but I could not get in at that moment because the VC bungalow was completely barred off by the police, and I could see that people were being pushed, were being dragged out of the bungalow. There were a lot of policemen in riot gears, I mean, with their olive guards and their plastic bayonets, and you had a lot of various kinds of instruments the police had come in with, and they were chasing the students around the bush that is there near the VC's bungalow. And there were, I saw some women students were being beaten up. They were first being dragged out by women policemen and then beaten up by male police, and boys were also being beaten up. In that situation, I came across a policeman and told that, why are you beating? Because these policemen, a lot of them, we had seen them being posted in campus regularly during the protests following Rohit Vemla's death. And then there were a lot of other policemen, and a lot of people were trying to communicate with the police when the police were going out on the rampage, running after students. There were a lot of people who were trying to talk with the policemen, because there had been some channels of communication possible because we had seen these policemen in campus. But then police started dragging us towards a bus which was parked beside the Humanities building parking lot. And while being dragged into that bus, the policemen, some of the policemen and the driver of the bus were trying to assure us that nothing will happen, we will leave you after some kilometers away from the campus. But once we got inside the bus, the policemen went through a certain kind of personality change. Their language changed, and they were now pushing us not by hands, but they were striking their bayonets across, and inside the bus there was not much space that we could move, and we were very quickly pushed towards corners, and there were more policemen who got inside the bus. And then they started to address us in the foulest of language. And the moment the bus left the HCU main gate, then they started beating us seriously. Like, before that it was just like they were taking control of us. After that, each one of us were being individually picked up and being subjected to something like 2 or 3 minutes of continuous beating, and then they were moving to the next person and to the next person. Among us there was Professor K.Y. Ratnam. He would be more than 50 years old. So he was first accused of making Afzal Guru and Yaqub Memons out of innocent minds, and he was also told that, what kind of teacher are you? Are you teaching students to shout and protest, while as a teacher you should have a moral position? I mean, these are men in khakis, custodians of our law, who were using language roughly, respectively translated would be something like, how many times did you copulate with your mother? Did you successfully expand the clitoral muscle of your mother? Then they were asking about something like, what is the per night service charge of the women students of Hyderabad University campus, and the other kinds of language that were used, especially against women. It is a matter of deep concern, I think, that these policemen who are posted in campus, they take their job as a easy chance to lech around in a place where, I mean, I don't know, I mean, that's the perception I got. And so the beating continued, like they were coming in a sequence. Like, the first person was coming, beating with batons, then the next person comes, he beats with hand, and generally it's like one policeman holding, the other person then beating, and then ultimately it will be covered up by boots. They were kicking, very roughly with boots, especially near stomachs and like toward, the hand and knee joints. These were the things that they were targeting. And then there was this person who was on the bus, who was carrying this book, Secularizing Islamists, This is written by one of the leading scholars of Arab Asia, and for that reason they accused all of us of being Pakistani sympathizers. They threatened us that they will charge sedition cases against us, and then Muslim students were specifically targeted. Like every Muslim name, they started to wrongly pronounce them as Afzal Guru and Omar Khalid. And with that, they also threatened us of, there was this stretch of, a deserted stretch towards the Miapur police station. This Chandanagar to Secunderabad road, to Balanagar road. So there they slowed down the bus for a bit, and then they were threatening us that they will, bring us all down and then shoot us and show that as a kind of encounter case. And at that time we were thinking like, where exactly we are being taken to. Our mobile phones had been snatched, and we had no way of communicating our location. We know that people had seen we are being taken away, but how many other people had been taken away, we had no idea. And for a moment we had this thought that maybe we will be beaten up for a long time in the bus and then we will be left. But then we saw that we are being taken to Miapur police station. In Miapur police station, some rough question answer session happened. We were asked our names and stuff, and then so from this moment, Miapur police station till the next morning, we spent the night not in ideal circumstances, in a corridor, not even in a room, in a that floor carpet. And after that, we were taken to Gachibowli, we were taken to Balanagar police station, and then to a hospital where the police tried to get a certificate of fitness in everybody of our name. But some of us were really ill by that time. For instance, K.Y. Ratnam sir had, we saw his BP was over 200 at that time. But still there he was provided a certificate of fitness. And then the police wanted us to sign the arrest papers. And we wanted to read the arrest papers at least before signing, and the police was not giving us any chance to do that. And some of us wrote at that time, while we signed, we wrote by force. And the moment we started doing that, they again started kicking and beating us. And this is happening inside the hospital. There is a place where all these staffs have been vacated, and then we are being made to sign the arrest papers, and they were continuously kicking and beating us whenever we were whenever they thought that we are taking longer time than needed to read the arrest papers or something like that. And by this time, some more than 24 hours had been passed, and we had not been produced in front of a magistrate as per law. And when we asked that, the police just replied that, look, we have a relation of trust with the judiciary, so if we'll just show the arrest that it happened later, we can always do that. So, and this was told quite frankly, like, you cannot do anything about it. That's how things run here. And then from there we are taken to and then we are taken to a magistrate at 12 o'clock, but we are not even allowed to stand in front of the magistrate. We were like, we were coming in a queue, one person was being taken, barely his name was being pronounced, and then the police were pushing us aside and the next person. So there was no that kind of intervention. Like, all of us at that time had scar marks, and it was quite visible that all of us had been really badly tortured, but they were not allowing us to stand in front of the magistrate even for a time that the magistrate remembers our faces. Not even that time was given. And then from there we were taken directly to Balanagar police station. In the middle, except some people to whom some medications were given in hospital, there was no other kind of medication was given, so everybody was in excruciating pain. And then after that, even while going inside the jail, we asked that at least once give us our mobile phone so that we can tell to our parents and other people that we had reached jail and all, because till at that time nobody was sure that what is going on with us. But even that the police did not allow, and then we are just put inside the jail. So later we, when people came to know and people spontaneously helped us and the legal cases and stuff, those things were, I mean, those are the things where we got a lot of assistance from the HCU campus community. But for a, but later we also understood that the police, I mean the ploy of the police or in that university administration putting the police against the students, what it helped the administration was a lot of energy was diverted towards, I mean, coping with these arrests to take care of the legal cases and stuff. The police action also shows the vulnerability of the Hyderabad University administration, that without repression they cannot have any work done efficiently. That so it shows that the university has lost all kind of what bureaucratic legitimacy that a public institution should have. And okay, the movement is still now, it had actually been bolstered by these kinds of repressions, and obviously this will be a eventual victory for the students, for the campus community, and whatever the progressive ideas that the movement represents, I mean, for justice, for equality. But at the same time, if the administration carries out these kinds of repression, after that can it think of running a proper peacetime administration? Will it have the legitimacy? Will the files run from the administration block to the departments without the support of the students and the staff and the various stakeholders in campus? I don't think it's possible. I mean, the university is digging its own grave.
So, like, on 22nd morning, one of our comrade called me and he told me that this protest is happening in VC Lord VC has returned. So we went there and a peaceful democratic protest was going on there. And like we sat in the protest, there were like 200 to 250 people outside in the VC's lodge lawn. And there were many AVP people inside the VC's that bungalow. So, and like the protest went on for went on till 4, and around 4 the police person, they started lathi charging and like they threw us out of the VC's lodge, and then they chased us till Humanities, lathi charging and pelting stones. So at Humanities, some of the women students, they were manhandled and they started arguing with those people, police persons, and from there they started lathi charging again, and I started running. Shubhadeep was behind me, and then I saw Shubhadeep was being beaten up by the police person, and like he was nabbed and grabbed till the police van, and I just went there to just stop them, and I was also like pushed into the police van. And after that, many people, like we were total 18 people in that police van, many people were picked up because they were making videos when police were talking ill about the girls and all that. And from that time, I saw this a math faculty, senior woman faculty, who were dragged by her hairs and were beaten up by the male police just near the bus when she was arguing with them to not pick us up and where they were taking us. And then they took Ratnam sir inside. Then other people, like near Gopes, this Prasanna was making videos of the bus when people were getting beaten up in the bus. They picked up Prasanna also, Prasanna Chaudhary. And from there, this beating up started. Like the people who were sitting on the front seats, like Aditya, Prasanna, Hassan, these people were being beaten up badly. Then we from the back seats, we tried to stop them and tell them, Anna, please don't beat them and all that. But when they started beating up Ratnam sir, they slapped him, and then like we lost our hope that there is no chance. Anyway, they are going to beat us. So they asked all of us our names, and whoever had Muslim names, they were targeting those people particularly. And we were told that that we suck India's dick and we talk about Afzal and Yaqub, why don't you go to Pakistan, all those kind of things. We were told, the people who were caught making videos. They were told, tell your mothers and sisters to get naked and make their videos, and like many things. And about, they talked ill about Rohit, about our women friends and comrades here in university, and yeah, and they were beating Ratnam sir and telling him that, what do you teach these people? Do you teach anti-nationalism to them? And like, there were, these people were without name tags. They didn't have any name tag, and they were coming and taking turns to beat every person. They were beating us up with punches, batons, then knees, boots and elbows. And many people were beaten up badly on their backs. So still, like, it's like 2 weeks has been passed and people are still having pains in their back. And like, it was like 40 to 45 minutes ride from university to Miapur police station. And at Miapur police station, we were told to like, all of our details were taken. Then we were told to sit in a room, 27 people, and then we slept there in corridor. And yeah, then people started coming after midnight. Some Congress people came, and then when some of our faculty members reached there searching for us in morning, then they like planned to move us. And around 1:30, they moved us to Balanagar police station. There again they took our details, pictures and all that, and we were told that we till the next day, till evening, we were not told that the cases have been filed against us. We were told that they are going to release us soon. So at evening around 6:30 we started from Balanagar, and we were taken to Kondapur local area government hospital, where our medical certificates were prepared. And that time we came to know that these certificates are the fitness certificates to be produced in front of magistrate. And then we came to know that the cases have been filed against us. Then they forced us to sign those papers. We were not allowed to read the arrest papers, and we were not allowed to put dates on those papers. And we were told that you won't get bail, and other cases will be put against you if you don't sign these papers. From there, they took us to this Tarnaka, where the magistrate's home is there, and we were told that we will be produced in front of magistrate. But like 4 or 5 of us were allowed to enter that room, others were not even allowed to enter, and even just 2 or 3, they succeeded in talking with this magistrate. So legally, as I know, that this whole detention of 7 days was illegal, because we were not produced in front of any magistrate in front of any court for these 7 days. And like in jail it was fine, like we were treated as VIP, but the conditions of the other prisoners, inmates, they were really bad. And yeah, so we got out of the jail on 28th, and a huge celebration happened here in HCU. We were treated like the heroes of this university. But actually, I mean, the people who worked here in the state repression, like we were treated well we were being treated well in the jail. But here the situation was really bad, and the state repression was there, the police was there, lathi charging were happening. So the people who were here, and they tried to keep this movement alive, and they worked here, they organized people. I mean, those people should be, they should as much as part of this struggle as much anybody else here. And after, like, now as we know that Chalo SC is going to happen tomorrow on 6th, and we are expecting that more than 1,000 people will come from outside. And BC's Academic Council meeting is going to happen in BC Lodge. People will gather there, and we are going to protest again. And all this incident somehow has again relightened this struggle. So the struggle has taken a new shape. So I mean, the rhetoric has changed. It's more radical. People are talking about nationalism. People are talking about police brutality. People are talking about state. So I think the rhetoric has changed after all this incident.
On that day, 22nd, I was sitting in my room. I was kind of lazy to go for the exam that was scheduled on that day. I didn't go for the exam. I was just sitting in the room when I got the message that VC had reached the VC lords and was conducting some sort of meeting. So some friends messaged me, come immediately to the VC lords, and there is some protest and all happening, so let's go and join the protest. So by the time I was a little late, by the time I reached there, I saw an argument happening between non-teaching staff and the students who had gathered and who were raising slogans and all. There were slogans raised by both sides. Like non-teaching staff were like raising slogans in quite provocative manner, like VC Sindabad. And after all these incidents that happened in this university, some slogan like VC Sindabad, I couldn't just understand it. So I was also a part of the sloganeering on the part of students. After that, like I moved around observing what all had happened out there. So I observed all the areas around, and then after that I went for lunch and came back around 1 hour, 1.5 hours late. I sat there, I continued to be the part of the protest and I was there only. And once police started dragging people out, we all formed a sort of chain sort of thing and offered a sort of token like resistance, and eventually I was dragged by my neck, and after some time we all were pushed out of that compound. So like there were some friends of mine who were like dragged out in an even brutal manner. For example, like you might have an idea how difficult it is for some people when they are slapped on their cheeks for the first time. So there was a friend of mine crying. She was slapped these 6 times on each cheeks. So she was sitting there and crying. So I went and sat with her and was saying it's okay, and we were like observing what all things were going on, standing, and then only this Lathi charge and all started. I helped like some of the people who were around me, I helped them to move over the VC road towards the humanities block, and from there we were kind of moving towards the GOPS when I saw a friend lying there after being beaten by Lathi or something. So like first some of my friends went and helped her, and then I saw that she is not getting up. I asked one policeman who was standing next to me, "Sir, she's my friend, I want to go and help her. It appears that she's wounded or something." So when I was moving towards that friend, another policeman came and took me by shoulder as in a very nicely and friendly manner. And I thought, okay, these guys are not being violent towards me at the moment. They were just trying to push people away. I was cooperating. I just went with him. And once we reached near the bus, he told me to get in. Okay. I was a fool. I just went into the bus. I didn't even think much. I just went in and sat at the back seat. So then only all these lathi charge and all became even more brutal. People were being beaten here and there and were dragged, pushed and shoved and all. I saw a professor from mathematics department being manhandled by 3 or 4 policemen who had ganged up on her and were pushing and shoving and all that. So seeing this, like, it's quite difficult to take all this in, okay. So I started shouting, "Leave her, she's a professor." I opened the bus window and started shouting. So some policemen came and like they started closing the window. Then I again opened it and shouted, "She's a professor." Then people started sloganeering in the bus. A lot of people were being thrown into the bus in a quite brutal manner by then. Like some were dragged, and like I saw Ajmal being thrown. It was quite brutal. 4 people or something dragging him in. After that, Ratnam sir and each of us, like each of those people who were thrown into the bus, were brought into the bus only. Sometime later, the bus started moving, and once the bus reached Coast, it stopped for 5 minutes, and by then only they had started beating people. And it was initially kind of like a shock. Okay, we were never expecting something like that. Like police would be starting to beat each and everyone, and like over time it became more and more clear. They had this set of words that they were using, like these people are like they were calling us all these things, anti-nationals, beefeaters, peace of love campaigners, all sort of things. Okay, beefeating and all those things, it all became a sort of abuse or a language that they can use to beat us. And then they wanted to send us to Pakistan. What else? They called us all these people, they were calling us as people who were wasting the public money. Then they were comparing us with the BC. They were saying that, okay, none of you are going to be, like, do you know what a big guy BC is? Like, not a big short guy, sort of big guy. At the same time, a great guy, sort of big guy. BCs, and none of you are ever going to be as great as this BC. By saying all these things, they were beating us. Like one person's beating up, I observed more clearly was Ashik. They started beating Ashik, and like for some time, they continued it for some time, and Ashik curled into a ball, and started crying aloud. Like, the policeman told him, if you cry more, we will beat you even more. And then this process was repeated to each and every person who was sitting in the bus. And by the time they reached, like, I was sitting at the back seat, they could see a person sitting with this beard and all. Beard is a problem, right? So they were beating me again. In between, they were beating Ratnam sir, telling, are you teaching anti-nationalism to students? And that was quite outrageous. When Shan told them to stop beating Ratnam sir, they started beating Shan, and I saw that clearly too. They were holding him by his hair, pushing, like continuously slapping him on his cheeks, and then hitting his back with their elbows of that. And once they started beating me, I couldn't properly notice in which manner they were beating me. I know I was slapped on my cheeks continuously, and then bent upon and hit on my back with the elbow and all that. And Shan only told me, you were beaten by, like, you were kicked also. I didn't quite get it then. Okay, it was a state in which I was totally in sort of shock and panic stricken. I don't know how else to describe all that. I never experienced that sort of a feeling ever before. Then in between they stopped for water, and like by 40-45 minutes they reached Miapur police station. And for one whole night I remember Shan being beaten up in the police station for his book that he was having, secularizing Islamists. And we were not in a state to respond to any of these things that we knew were not being done in a correct manner. Like, all these things that were being done to us, none of them had any sense of justice or righteousness in it, and all these just pushed us into a kind of shock. Like, whatever they were doing, we were in such a state of shock that we couldn't even respond to it. And in the police station, we were made to sit on the floor for some time. It's what, like, then only I started comparing these things with whatever happened in the bus, and whatever happened in the police station was way better than whatever had happened in the bus. So I was able to take all of that in. We were continuously harassed mentally in the police station, giving us all sort of fake promises that this is just a kind of detention or something, and then some other guy would come and say that you guys are a big problem, and all that sort of rhetoric happened there only. Then we were kept in the police station that night. In between, a policeman came and advised me, asking what my father does. I told him that he's a government employee. And then the policeman asked me, what would your father think about this? Come on, we didn't do anything wrong out there that day. I was too damn sure that I didn't do anything wrong. And then this guy he just comes to me and asks what my father would think. My father would think that I did something right. When I helped that person, my father, that's what he's going to think, I'm sure. And after that, I continuously begged, all of us, in fact, continuously begged the policeman, like, please let us send him a message, or just let us make a call or something to our parents so that they would know that we are safe and sound. Like we are here, okay, in a police station. They didn't let us. Okay, they were saying that they are being given orders from Vichiboli police station and they cannot do anything. We are just being kept in Miyapur because there is not enough space in Gachibowli police station. All sort of things. Then by next day afternoon, we were taken to Balanagar police station where everything, like all the details regarding us were asked, like taken from us. And then they went on to say that you do not have any human rights or like these things like human rights that do not apply to you. And it was quite humiliating. And they were also saying that whatever problem that, if any more problem happen inside the campus, you will be the first people to be caught. Hassan in particular was humiliated quite badly, and he was being called as team leader and mastermind and all sort of things. And then from there we were taken to a hospital, and they only turned a hospital into a police station. They forced us to sign this like the papers regarding our cases and all from there. Like I asked the policeman, please give me a chance to read the paper, just give us a chance to consult with a lawyer. None of this was provided. One policeman told that you will be given a chance to read the paper, and another policeman would come and force us to sign the paper. There was no time even to read those papers that we had to sign. Then from there we were taken to a judge. Now, I also had to say that we were not allowed, like we never got a proper medical checkup. Whenever we complained that we are having physical issues after getting beaten up in the bus, the doctor also just smiled and told it's okay. And we were declared physically fit to be taken to the magistrate, and 11 o'clock in the night we were taken to a magistrate. We were arrested at 5:36 the previous day, and then they are taking us to the magistrate at 11 o'clock. Just think what sort of justice is there. And from the magistrate's place, like where only a few of us got a chance to meet the magistrate, and those few who got a chance to meet the magistrate were in no mental state to properly say, even if we were in a mental state to say, that we were not given a proper chance. We were just dragged away from the magistrate. Like I was called back and asked, do you have any injuries? Okay, I didn't have any injuries on the surface. I told her I have intense pain on the inside. It was not a problem. We were taken to the jail, we were thrown in jail, and for 7 days we were kept in the jail.
I am Emre Hassan, an MPhil student from English department, University of Hyderabad. I am on 22nd March. We are protesting against the VC, Appa Rao, because he took charge illegally, being accused in the murder of Ray Memula and booked under the HCU Atrocity Prevention Act. He is he cannot take charge of the VC, Vice Chancellorship. So therefore we are protesting on that day. We are peacefully protesting in the VC laws against his Vice Chancellorship. Till 4 o'clock we are protesting peacefully and democratically. Nothing happened. But around 4 o'clock the police came and told us to evacuate the place, but we insisted that until the VC resigns, we'll continue to protest. Then around 4 o'clock, the police started lathi charging us and chasing us far away from the VC laws. I was there near Goodwill Canteen on that day when one police chased behind me and caught my collar of my shirt and dragged me into the police van. So the police dragged me into the police van and pushed me down in a corner seat. Before getting hit by the police, I saw my senior Subhadip Kumar and asked him that what might happen to me, as for the first time I got into a police van. Subhadip Kumar said that nothing will happen as you haven't done anything wrong. So I was a bit relieved, but immediately the police came and started hitting me on my back, on my shoulder, and slapped me hard on my face. One policeman snatched my spectacle and my mobile phone, and when I requested them that I have serious eye problem and I cannot see much without a spectacle, the policeman started hitting me more, as he was saying that why despite having problems you are protesting against us or against the BC. So I was very much terrified and I was very much sad about it. I saw my companions, the victims in the police van, beating up like anything, beating up like even animals. The police were hitting each and everyone very hard and mercilessly. The police also unleashed verbal abuse. The police called us anti-nationals because the police alleged that we are conducting big festivals, Hisab Lab, and we are glorifying Afzal Guru and Yaqub Manan. These policemen, like 6-7 policemen were there. All of us brutally tortured us in the van and abused us in vulgar language. They also, the most painful thing is that these policemen told us that they will rape our mothers and sisters, and they will take them here, bring them here, and take naked videos. The policemen also threatened that they would rape our female friends in the university. So it was such a threatening moment. I was thinking that if these policemen were talking in such a way against the women, what would be the safety of the women? So it was very threatening and all. The policemen also did not spare Rohit. They called Rohit a bastard, a spoiled child, and so many things in Telugu and Hindi and English also. In the police van, while abusing us, the police also kept us hitting. The most unfortunate thing is that the police also did not spare Professor K. Ratnam. The police slapped him and abused him also, saying that what kind of teacher you are, what kind of teaching you are giving to the students. The police also arrested Moses Abilis, an independent freelance journalist, and also abused him and hit him, where Moses Abilis was just taking videos of the police lathi. So in the police van from HCU to Miapur police station, for around 50 minutes, the police kept on torturing us, hitting us literally, and brutally attacking us, beating us up, and mercilessly. After reaching there in Miapur police station, we are made to sit in a cramped and dirty floor of a room in the police station, where also the police took pictures and information. At night in the Mayapur police station, we were even not allowed to sleep at night because the policeman kept light in front of us so that we cannot sleep. And it was such a painful night. We had wounds and pain in our bodies. We could not sleep. And next day morning, we were told that we will be released. But again, they said that it is in the hand of the big bosses, so they cannot say anything. From Mayapur police station, we are taken to the Balanagar police station at around 11 to 12 am. In Balanagar police station, the sub-inspector gave us a lecture on nationalism and education and threatened us and behaved with us very rudely. Yeah, in Balanagar police station, the police kept us sitting there for long hours. The room where we were sitting was very much suffocating, and it was like we were some criminals and we were kept in some underground world and all. So it was such a moment. And once the policemen started taking our videos, they took our videos from different sides, from front, from sides, in like different pose and all. So I felt very bad and asked him that why are you taking the photos like this, where we are not criminals, we are scholars, we are students. And the policeman again behaved with us very rudely and all. So after Balanagar, we are again boarded in the police van, and then again we thought that we are going to Gachibowli police station. So again there is a suspense that we are going to Gachibowli police station, but we are shocked to see that we are taken to a government area hospital, Kondapur. It was shocked because we never thought that we will be taken to a hospital for some reasons, but we are taken to hospital and we are told that we will have a treatment, and the treatment is basically for a fitness certificate which they wanted to take it for producing us at the magistrate court. So from there we had pains and wounds in our bodies, and from there the doctor saw us and said okay and gave us some injections and painkillers, and then gave the fitness certificate so that the police easily could say to the magistrate that they are fine. In the government area hospital only, the circle inspector of Gachibowli, Ramesh came with some papers and said that you have to sign here their arrest papers. So firstly we objected, and when he said that why should we sign such papers, and when we asked them why you are filing false cases against us where we haven't done anything, the circle inspector J. Ramesh threatened us literally. They said that if you do not sign, I will file more cases against you. Personally, when I asked him, sir, what will happen to our future if false cases are filed against us, then aggressively he reacted and said that shut up your mouth, otherwise I will file more cases against you, because I saw you speaking against us in front of us, questioning us. So I was very afraid, I was very threatened, and it was really a very painful moment for me to remember. After that, we at the same place, government area hospital, we met other 9 people who were arrested and kept in other police stations. They also came, and we got together, all of us, and we all of us were forced to sign the papers after threatening and all. So after the signs and all, we are again taken to the magistrate court, Miapur, where we are told that we will be produced at the magistrate court. But after reaching there at 11:40, around 11:40 p.m., some of us could see the magistrate, but again the police did not allow all of us to see the magistrate. after that the magistrate sent us to Chellapalli Central Prison at around 1 o'clock on 23rd March. And there around late night we went there in the Chellapalli, we were sent to Chellapalli. And from there in the jail we didn't have any harassment which we had from the police and all. In Chellapalli jail we had everything fine, like we had good food, and then daily newspapers, and if we had any problem we could ask the police, the jailers, and they used to give us, and there we had a very good experience, as in we had 2 teachers, so we could ask them any questions and they used to teach us or talk to us. We had discussions and everything, and but we saw a kind of hierarchy, because we are, as a political prisoners or students, we got one kind of treatment. We we are favored by the jailers and the police, and because the fact that we had a lot of political supports and all. And on the other hand, the other convicts, prisoners, they had very pathetic, terrible life. They had very bad food and all, but they are definitely have a different life and all. So there is also a kind of, I feel, discrimination or hierarchy. However, in the jail we had a lot of experience to know what is outside world and what is inside world and all. And from there, after we spent in jail 6 days, and we learned a lot of things in 6 days, and we saw, and during jail also we came to know that the university the food, electricity and internet were cut off. The university had gone through a very terrible situation. We used to read everyday newspapers and see what is happening in the university, and people were threatened by the police in various ways. People were about to be arrested and all. So people the students in the university. Yeah, so we were very sad to see, to know all these things from jail about the university and all. But after coming from the university, after coming from Chellapalli jail, we saw this university a more kind of prison than the real prison. We saw that people are not allowed in the university, medias are not allowed in the university, and we are officially called inmates. So it's basically we are the inmates or prisoners of this university. And I feel that that being in the central jail for 6 days and coming from there and staying in the university, I feel that this university has become kind of like prison and all. I feel that the prison had more liberty than this university now, where you do not have the liberty or the freedom to talk against the BC and all, or you do not have even freedom to move around. And so this is how this is how the days we are going through in the university, and I feel that we should continue our protest, and with our goal that BC resigns and we get justice, Rohit gets justice. Thank you.